Hello students, welcome back to my channel. This is your one-stop destination for mastering class 12 English core. If you are new here, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and turn on the bell notification for regular updates. Today, we are diving into the Rattrap by Selma Lagerlöf. It's a story that beautifully combines symbolism, human compassion and the power of transformation. Here is what you are going to learn in this video. Let's get started with the summary. The story begins with a peddler who earns his living by selling rat traps made of wire. He has a cynical view of the world, believing that life itself is a giant rat trap. Just like a rat trap lures mice with bait, the world tempts people with wealth, success and materialistic pleasures, trapping them forever. One day, while wandering through the countryside, the peddler seeks shelter at an old crofter's cottage. The crofter is a kind, generous man who not only gives him food and a place to stay but also shares his life story. He shows the peddler his savings of 30 kroner which he keeps in a leather pouch hanging on the wall. The next morning, driven by greed, the peddler steals the money and flees. Guilt begins to creep in and he realizes he's fallen into the metaphorical rat trap himself. As he ventures into the woods to evade capture, he loses his way. Exhausted, he seeks refuge at the ironworks. The ironmaster, mistaking him for an old regimental comrade, offers him shelter. Though the peddler hesitates, the ironmaster's daughter Edla Willmansson persuades him to stay. Her kindness and genuine hospitality touch him deeply. On Christmas morning, the ironmaster realizes the truth about the peddler's identity and plans to hand him over to the police. However, Edla insists they treat him with dignity. The peddler, moved by her compassion, leaves behind a small rat trap as a gift, along with the stolen money and a note. In the note, he acknowledges her kindness and refers to himself as a rat that has finally been freed from the trap, thanks to her trust and humanity. Now let's move on to the themes of the story, which add depth and meaning to the narrative. The Rat Trap is more than just a story about a peddler and his journey. It's a profound exploration of human nature, morality and redemption. Let's delve into the themes that make this story timeless and universally relatable. This story highlights the contrast between what appears to be and what truly is. The peddler, though a thief, is mistaken for a nobleman by the ironmaster. At the same time, beneath his ragged appearance lies a potential for goodness and transformation, which Edla is able to recognize. The theme urges us not to judge people solely by their appearances, as true character lies beyond what meets the eye. The next one, the metaphor of the rat trap, symbolizes how greed and the pursuit of wealth can entangle people in an endless cycle of desire and discontent. The peddler falls into this trap when he steals the crofter's money, only to find himself lost in the woods, consumed by guilt. Material possessions may lure us, but they ultimately fail to bring true happiness or fulfillment. At its core, the story emphasizes how kindness can transform even the most ardent individuals. Edla's unwavering faith in the peddler touches his heart and inspires him to change his ways. Compassion has the power to redeem and bring out the best in people. Set during Christmas, the story beautifully captures the holiday's essence: generosity, forgiveness, and second chances. The spirit of Christmas is evident in Edla's insistence on treating the peddler with dignity, despite knowing his true identity. The festive season serves as a reminder of humanity's higher values: love, kindness, and charity. While the crofter's trust is betrayed, Edla's trust becomes the turning point in the peddler's life. It demonstrates how trust, when extended with genuine intent, can heal and transform even the most flawed individuals. Trust, when combined with kindness, can inspire people to change for the better. The peddler's loneliness contrasts with the warmth and acceptance he experiences at the Ironmaster's house. This theme explores the human need for connection and how kindness can dissolve barriers of isolation. Acts of inclusion and empathy can provide a sense of belonging and change lives. The story vividly portrays the peddler's internal battle between his concise and his actions. After stealing the crofter's money, his guilt begins to weigh on him, showing the inherent morality within even the most cynical individuals. Concise acts as a guiding force capable of steering people toward redemption. These themes enrich the story, making it a profound tale of morality and redemption. They remind us of the importance of compassion, trust, and the human capacity for change. Now, let's move on to the reference to context examples that are critical for exam preparation. This line establishes the central metaphor of the story, symbolizing the traps of materialism and greed. It also reflects the peddler's cynical worldview shaped by his struggles and isolation. His perspective begins to change as he encounters compassion later in the story. This statement reveals the peddler's bitter and distrustful nature. It highlights his attempt to rationalize his own failures and misdeeds by projecting them onto the world, setting the stage for his eventual moral transformation. This act of kindness contrasts sharply with the peddler's mistrustful and selfish nature. It highlights the crofter's generosity and innocence, which the peddler betrays by stealing his money. This betrayal becomes a turning point in the story. The crofter's openness reflects his naive and trusting nature. This misplaced trust contrasts with Edla's deliberate and thoughtful compassion later in the story, making the peddler's redemption even more significant. This moment reveals the peddler's inner conflict and guilt, showing that his concise is still alive. This internal struggle is a critical step in his eventual moral awakening. This scene symbolizes how greed and dishonesty lead to confusion and despair, just as a rat trap ensnares its victims. It marks a turning point where the peddler begins to reflect on his actions and their consequences. The forge represents a place of transformation, both literally where raw metal is shaped and metaphorically where the peddler's redemption begins. It sets the stage for his encounter with the Ironmaster and Edla. Edla's calm and forgiving nature contrasts with her father's impulsive judgment. Her kindness becomes the foundation for the peddler's transformation, highlighting the story's central theme of redemption through compassion. Edla's unassuming nature and moral strength make her the ideal agent of the change in the story. She symbolizes the transformative power of genuine kindness and empathy. This line encapsulates the peddler's transformation. Edla's kindness and trust inspire him to rise above his cynical worldview and embrace honesty, proving the redemptive power of compassion. This moment contrasts the Ironmaster's superficial judgment with Edla's deeper understanding of human nature. It underscores the theme of appearance versus reality, as the peddler's worth lies beyond his shabby exterior. This scene shows the peddler's gradual thawing as he experiences warmth and hospitality. It foreshadows his eventual transformation as trust and kindness begin to break through his cynicism. The gift symbolizes the peddler's redemption and gratitude. It serves as a testament to the transformative power of Edla's kindness, reinforcing the story's message of forgiveness and second chances. This line captures the peddler's earlier disillusionment with life. By the end of the story, his changed outlook proves that kindness and compassion can free people from such negative perspectives. This minor detail highlights how Edla takes charge of the situation, further emphasizing her role as the moral compass of the story. It allows her unfiltered compassion to reach the peddler, ultimately leading to his transformation. Now, let's have a look at the literary devices used by the author in the chapter. Metaphor. The comparison of the world to a rat trap symbolizes the dangers of materialism, greed, and temptation. Just like a rat trap lures a rat with food, The world attracts people with riches, pleasures, and desires, only to trap them in the end. The rat trap becomes the central metaphor representing how people get trapped in their own desires and wrongdoings. Irony. Situational irony occurs when the peddler, who seems like a petty thief, is transformed by kindness and eventually returns the stolen money which no one expects. Dramatic irony occurs when the reader knows that the peddler is a thief and yet is given shelter and kindness by the crofter and the Ironmaster, which makes the eventual revelation more impactful. The irony helps highlight the theme of redemption and how a seemingly bad person can change due to acts of compassion. Symbolism. The rat trap itself is a powerful symbol of life's traps, representing the dangers of materialism and greed. The forest where the peddler gets lost symbolizes confusion and the inner turmoil of being trapped in one's guilt. Through symbolism, the story communicates abstract themes of human nature, moral struggle, and redemption. Foreshadowing. Early in the story, when the peddler is lost in the forest, he reflects on his faith, which foreshadows his eventual change in character. Additionally, the crofter's generous sharing of his savings hints that the peddler will be tempted to steal, setting up the conflict. Foreshadowing creates suspense and allows the reader to anticipate the peddler's eventual moral awakening. Characterization. The author uses direct characterization, explicitly stating traits like the peddler being a miserable creature, and indirect characterization reveals traits through their actions like Edla's kindness and trust in the peddler. The detailed characterization of the peddler and other characters adds complexity to the story, especially when the peddler undergoes a transformation showing the effect of kindness and empathy. Contrast. There is a strong contrast between the peddler, who is initially bitter and selfish, and Edla, who is compassionate and forgiving. Similarly, the contrast between the crofter's trust and the peddler's betrayal sets the stage for the peddler's eventual moral change. The contrasts highlight the moral themes of the story, particularly the idea of good versus bad and the potential for personal transformation. Personification. The rat trap is personified as a trap that lures people with its temptations, making it more than just a physical object. It embodies the abstract concept of temptation and human weakness. Personification emphasizes the dangerous allure of greed and how it seems to have a will of its own. Allusion. The rat trap itself can be seen as an allusion to the classic metaphor of life's temptations, something that many classic works and fables have explored, including biblical references to sin and temptation. The allusion enhances the universal appeal of the story, suggesting that the themes of the rat trap apply to all human societies. Allegory. The peddler represents human greed, while Edla and the crofter represent compassion and trust. The peddler's journey is an allegory for moral growth, where he moves from the life of theft to one of honesty, symbolizing the possibility of change in human nature. The allegorical nature of the story makes it a moral tale about redemption, self-discovery, and the effects of kindness. Repetition. The phrase, "the world is a rat trap," is repeated throughout the story to reinforce the central theme and the peddler's philosophy on life. It reminds the reader of the temptation of the world and the traps that await those who succumb to greed. Repetition serves to underline the peddler's worldview and adds weight to the metaphor, making it central to the story's message. These literary devices are integral in developing the themes of the rat trap and enhancing its message about human nature, morality, and the possibility of redemption. Here are the key words and phrases that you can use while answering. Now that I have armed you with keywords and phrases to elevate your responses, let's move on to something just as important: common errors that students often make while answering questions on the rat trap. Avoiding these mistakes will help you present your ideas more clearly and effectively. Let's take a look on what to watch out for. By recognizing and avoiding these common errors, you will be better equipped to craft thoughtful and accurate answers in your exam. Now, let's move on to some valuable scoring tips for this chapter. Here are the scoring tips for this chapter. By following these scoring tips, you will be able to answer questions on the Rattrap in a structured, thoughtful way, maximizing your chances of scoring high marks. Now, that wraps up our detailed exploration of the Rattrap. We have covered everything from the summary to key themes, literary devices, common errors, and scoring tips that will help you ace your exam. Remember, understanding the deeper messages of the story and using the right keywords and quotes will make your answers stand out. So practice these tips and you are sure to impress your examiners. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more useful content. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below and I'll be happy to help you further. Good luck with your studies and keep working hard. Your success is just around the corner, children.